Madhouse UK podcast, and I'm podcasting tonight on Bonfire Night or Fireworks Night here in the UK. So if you hear any booms or crashes or any of those sounds in the background, that's because people are having fun and setting off fireworks, and it's going to happen. But hopefully it won't happen too much. So a few things to go over tonight. First of all, a little announcement I prepared earlier, which people who use the Facebook page will have already seen. I'll just read it out to you. I will be beginning my daily podcasts and weekly chat rooms next week. My first daily podcast should begin next Monday, and my first weekly chat room will begin probably on the 17th of November, which I think is a Sunday. Thereafter, I will endeavour to keep them at that regularity, although I cannot promise every day, as some occasions will be impossible. I'd like to aim for at least 5 days out of every 7 as a realistic goal. Quite often there won't be any new news, as daily podcasts for a game that once every 2 weeks is going to be interesting to do. That's where you all come in. I'd like to encourage you to leave comments on the podcast on YouTube with questions and ideas for me to use in the following one, and hopefully I can make it happen. I think working together we can probably make this work, and we've got to do something anyway, because Yahoo groups, as we've said before, is gradually being phased out. We've got to move the game forwards, move the way that we interact between turns forwards. Once again, I want to encourage everybody to please check out Facebook, sign up for Facebook and join our Dungeonworld page on Facebook. That is my number one place where I'm going to be responding to people and dealing with player questions and the ongoing kind of role play of the game. I will, as I've said before, try and support other places you guys set up, but can't promise anything, so it's important that you try and come onto Facebook. Okay, excuse me, I've got a slight cold at the moment, just sort of getting over it. This time of year I think everybody gets these little viruses, and it's not been too bad, but it does have an effect, as you know, so those things happen. If you've got any bug reports, updates, changes or anything else, going forward you need to remember that the deadlines have changed. The new deadlines are that we're going to say Wednesday is the deadline. You'll have seen that on your last turn if you're a player, and that means the game will run on Friday night. Now it takes several hours to run the game, normally about 8 hours, so I'm aiming to run the game over a Friday night into a small hours of Saturday morning, with a view to getting the files ready for our Madhouse USA partners, ready for their Saturday post. So that's the kind of aim for it all, and that is going to be very strict where possible. So please do try and get everything into me by the Wednesday, because I won't be responding to stuff that comes in after the deadline until the following turn, just to make sure that we focus on these turns staying regular. Okay, what else is there? So Madhouse Minicon. So once a year, UK players and anyone who wants to make the long journey from elsewhere in the world to the UK, it's happened a number of times, get together for a weekend of board games and card games and beers and general hilarity and lots of fun. We do all sorts of things. We've been doing it for a lot of years, and we have very rarely missed a year. So I wanted to give you the dates for Madhouse Minicon 2020 in advance. This means that you can put them in your diary and try and make sure you don't book another important thing or a holiday or book your leave or whatever. Now I know that doesn't affect everybody, but some players each year say to me, if only I'd have known a bit further in advance, I could have been to that, but I can't make it this time. And obviously we'd love to see as many people attend as possible. It really is a lot of fun. We have a crazy weekend. It's all free except for a couple of organised events. So normally on the Saturday night we do a dinner with role play throughout, and that's always a great giggle, great laugh. We all get dressed up in costume. That does cost a fee to cover the food and stuff. I don't think it's not normally unreasonable, but actually attending costs you nothing other than your travel and accommodation wherever you book it. So it will be here in our hometown of Wisbech next year, and the dates I'm penciling in at the moment are the 24th to the 26th of July. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, last week in July. And that will be when we hold Minicon next year. So please do pencil them in. Love to see a big turnout and lots of, hopefully, some people we haven't seen before, some who aren't the regulars, but also, of course, those wonderful regular players that we always see and enjoy seeing every year. Okay, what else is there? So I've got a message from the Raven. Now, this is an in-character thing. You know the big announcement that happened last time. Well, the Raven has sent a new missive, which has, as usual, been sent to all of the dukes and duchesses in the game, and also the crown, and has after that posted up on notice boards all across the kingdom. Now, the last time I said that, some players out of character said, "Well, hold on, I'm a duchess or whatever, and I didn't get this note." Obviously, this is a role play thing. There's no way for me to send in-game emails to you in the game in between turns. This is you should presume that as dukes and duchesses you got this, so that goes as a given, and this is the same, and this is how the message reads. I am disappointed to have heard nothing from the occupier of the crown position in Berenice. It would seem that our announcement is of little concern to the new king or his advisers, or at least of little enough concern that we could be treated with what seems to be contempt. This is no surprise. My lawyers have informed me that this would indicate the Crown accepts our valid legal position, and if this is the case, then I consider it no bad thing that we can avoid difficulties. I must give the Crown this final opportunity, however, to respond, and no more than 5 days, in order that the matter is resolved. In the absence of any legal challenge, or other challenge, I will assume that our status as a city-state outside of the rule of barony is not contested. Other dukes and duchesses are watching and listening with interest. Most kind regards, the Raven. So that's the response, and the Raven has obviously made that response because there's been no attempt so far from the Crown to respond, or any of the Crown's advisors to respond to the previous message. Now, that could be deliberate, perhaps, we don't know, do we? Perhaps the player who controls the ruler and his advisors are having a think about it and working out how they're going to respond, or waiting to see if it ratchets up any further. It could be a cool game they're playing. I have no idea. I'm not talking to them at the moment, but I must remind everyone that any player involved on the Crown side at the minute can email me out of character and get any advice or help that you need, because I'm not actually the Raven, you know. Anyway, that's pretty much it for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this little podcast. We do hope to go daily next week, and that is going to count on your support and your help. So please do remember to like this post, to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, ring the magic bell, because every time you ring the magic bell, presents appear and I get to open them. Anyway, thanks very much, everyone. Talk to you soon.